When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. Now, let's continue where we last left off in our story. As the sun is beginning to rise, as the light begins to immolate Gotham City, as everyone's going about their daily business, as getting out of their homes and heading off to work, as you see a very familiar demigod planting some plants in his garden. As you can see dirt on the side of his cheek, on the side of his face. Izuku got up and dusted himself off and went inside to take a shower. After a quick shower, he got dressed and made his way to Gotham by teleporting, and went into a nice cafe to eat some breakfast. He might not need to eat, but he does like the routine. When he finally got his food, while he was eating, a rain of bullets came into the cafe, shooting through the glass window. Izuku continued to eat, undeterred by the flying bullets that are currently entering the cafe, as everyone inside hide underneath their tables, as the waitress is hiding behind one of the counters. Several bullets bounce off of Izuku and simply fell to the ground, harmless, like the bullets hit a invisible force. In truth, he channeled his magic to coat his skin. In truth, bullets can't hurt him. He's immortal, but that doesn't mean he's going to allow them to actually hit him with those glorified boomsticks. Izuku had a certain dislike with guns or any type of firearm. He's always believed a true warrior uses a blade in their bare hands to vanquish their foes or enemies. But unlike him, the world continued to change. He had to come with terms with that a long time ago. It's not like he sees his immortality as a curse. But a life with immortality can be tedious. If it wasn't for Amber's company, he probably would have become a lot more chaotic. Being alone for that long would do a number on anyone's mind, regardless if they're immortal or not. Even immortality has its bad points, but the positives outshadow the negatives. He's seen the worst of mankind and the best. Izuku doesn't really care about heroes or villains. He's only took this course of action because it was the most entertaining, almost entertainment, that could provide him with a worthy opponents. It could have easily been the other way around, where he chose the route as a hero to fight strong villains. He almost took that course of action until he saw more value in being a villain. Taking this course of action will grant him more fights and the opportunity to fight heroes and villains alike. It's basically both worlds wrapped up nicely in a package. Basically kill two birds with one stone type of scenario. The bullets finally stop from shooting into the cafe as several men burst through the front entrance as they're all carrying automatic, well, basically assault rifles. Well, as the criminals are aiming their rifles at everyone inside the cafe, while Izuku uses his knife to cut his eggs and proceed to eat those eggs, not even bothered by their appearance. One of the criminals saw Izuku not even concerned as he began to make his way over towards his direction, ready to approach. When Izuku noticed one of them was approaching him, the demigod threw a knife into the man's skull without even looking at him or giving him the slightest hint that he was about to be attacked, as the gangster fell to the ground dead. Fall to the floor dead. You really shouldn't have done that. I was having a nice and relaxing breakfast before you morons interrupted me. Izuku suddenly disappeared from his seat, then reappeared right behind one of the gangsters and grabbed him by the back of the neck and lift him up above the floor. Then proceed to snap his neck. Then threw him out of the window where the bullets shot into initially. They finally realized and began to turn around to face the threat. Izuku rammed his elbow into the left thug's face as the man's skull gets caved in, as bone and brain matter scatter all in pieces all over the nearby tables. The young demigod grabbed the right thug by the throat and tossed him out of the cafe as the demigod calmly walked out using the front door and watched the last remaining punk get up to his feet, merely opening fire upon Izuku by grabbing one of the rifles outside from one of his dead comrades that's laying in the middle of the street, only to see his bullets harmlessly drop to the ground once they make contact with Izuku. And Izuku was about to finish off the last remaining problem he has. Something came flying down as there was a slight wind gust of wind, basically. As you can see Izuku catching a fist in his hand by a young kid wearing some sort of blue suit with red trimmings near the neck area, with a big Superman symbol plastered on his chest, wearing a black jacket, revealing it to be Superboy, a much younger Superboy. I knew Gotham wouldn't disappoint me. Named Superboy, internal, and you should feel honored that I, Superboy, took my time to track you down. Superboy, you say? I've never heard of you, kid. Why don't you run back to your mother? You little. Suddenly Connor was thrown into a gas tanker truck as it exploded on impact. Izuku extended his hand outwards, like in a gun gesture with his hand. Bang! As a beam of pure magical energy shot out of his fingertips. piercing the trembling thug right through his chest before he could attempt to escape, killing him instantly. "Stop, you monster!" Connor threw a wild right hook only to see his attempt to get blocked. "Nice try, Squirt. My turn." As Izuku grabbed Connor by the wrist and pulled him towards him, then proceeded to ram his knee into Connor's stomach as Superboy coughed up spit. Izuku walked a few steps past him, then did a spinning kick in the back of Connor's head as Superboy went flying into a nearby building. Izuku walked towards the building where Superboy flew into. It didn't take him long to find the kid on the ground, breathing heavy, as he proceeded to pick up Superboy by the collar of his super suit. He noticed his costume must be made with a certain fiber. There's no damage, there's no damage to his clothes. Not even his jacket is not even tore or burned at all. "Don't pass out on me now, kid. I'm not finished with you yet." Izuku moves his head to the side to dodge a incoming heat vision beam that shot out of Superboy's eyes. In response, Izuku repeatedly to hit Connor in the stomach as he coughs up spit from each strike, like all the air was sucked out of his lungs. Now you're probably wondering why Izuku is being so brutal towards Superboy. Well, Izuku took out the thugs without dragging it out. The difference is the one simple fact that these random thugs barged into the cafe that's under his control and start causing up trouble. But the difference between those criminals and Superboy is his opponent can take the damage. If he's wearing that symbol, that means he's a Kryptonian in some way or fashion. That means he doesn't really have to hold back. Some random kid calling himself Superboy got under his skin a little bit. So yes, Izuku is being brutal to the kid, but he has no intention of killing him. If his name is a big giveaway, that he clearly has some sort of connection to the Boy Scout itself, to the Boy Scout himself. Having a enraged Superman is something he doesn't want to see anytime soon. So Izuku let go of the young boy. Now give you a bit of age range. Superboy is young, but he's old enough to be part of the Young Justice. He's just a new member. Ever since the Teen Titans was disbanded, Young Justice has been taking a lot of young members. As the young boy dropped to the ground, as Connor stares up at Eternal, glaring at him. "You didn't have to kill them. So that's what you're so uptight about. Some scums being cleansed. So a few thugs were killed. What's the big deal? They're only thugs. They're all trash. They're not even human. You need to stop thinking of them as actual people, because they're not. You honestly think I would allow some outsiders enter my territory and cause trouble, and there would be no punishment? Think again, boy." It's wrong, you bastard. No one has the right to take another life. As Superboy got up, glaring at Eternal, regaining his confidence and resolve is clearly displayed on his face. Connor might be the clone of Superman, but Clark and Lois has always treated him like a son. When Clark rescued him from a laboratory, he was only an infant. He was raised by Lois Kent and Clark Kent. So he adopted some of his father's views on life. Is he naive? Clearly he's naive. But Superboy has a good heart at the end of the day. Internal just shake his head. So naive, I pity you, boy. I don't need or want your pity, villain. Superboy flashed towards Eternal and land a right hook as Eternal gets punched out of the building as he goes skidding across the street into a slide. Huh, not bad, kid. If I wasn't me, I probably would have felt that. Let's see what else you can do, little carbon copy of Superman. I'm not Superman, you arrogant bastard. I'm Superboy. As Connor went flying towards the smirking Eternal, when he got close enough, he threw his fist only for Eternal to move out of the way and ram his elbow into Superboy's back, making the young hero hit the ground face first, making cracks. As cracks begin to form from the force of the impact he made with the ground. Nice move, but far too slow. You're going to have to try a lot harder than that, little hero. I normally don't find enjoyment in torturing kids, but you seem to be Kryptonian in nature, so I believe you can take it. I normally will not harm youngsters like you, but the moment you put on that suit and call yourself a hero, you're pretty much fair game. Izuku kicked Superboy in the face as he went skidding across the street, flying right through a fire hydrant as the seal in the water was jeopardized as the water begins to shoot out of the ground. Connor went flying into a nearby car door, stopping his momentum. Izuku took brief control using magic, using a spell to control the nearby water, creating water clones of himself using magic to reinforce the water constructs of Eternal. Gives them more of a defensive, so they won't dissipate from being hit once. That doesn't mean they're invincible. Enough force applied could jeopardize if you actually hit their weak spot. You just have to find the small blue crystals and destroy it to actually fully defeat these water constructs. Because if you just simply hit it, then it dissipates. It'll just reform itself. As long as that core is intact, the water constructs will continue to reform and attack over and over again. Eternal has no doubt that the small hero named himself Superboy will be able to handle them eventually. He just needs some time to make a phone call to inform Amber he's going to be a little late arriving back at the manor. After a brief conversation with his assistant, Superboy managed to find the water construct's weak spot by destroying the small blue crystals with his heat vision. Then proceed to continue his assault on Eternal once he got rid of all the water doubles of the villain. Strong, I'll give you that, kid. And your speed is not too bad, but you're way out of your depth. Izuku dodged Superboy's initial attack and slammed his fist into his stomach, making Connor cough up spit as his eyes widen a little bit as he was lift up from the ground for a brief second. Then suddenly he was shot. He was shot by a beam of pure magical energy that came out of the palm of Internal's hands. Izuku kicked Superboy up in the air. Izuku appeared right above the airborne Superboy and grabbed him by the back of the head, then flew downward, slamming Superboy's face into the street, making cracks underneath Superboy. Izuku walked away from the down hero, was still currently in the middle of the crater. As Internal begins to readjust his suit and swipe the dust off of his shoulders, Izuku motioned several of his Cerberus members that were standing by, just in case. Make sure the brat keeps breathing. I want you to keep an eye on him. Move the boy somewhere safer than the middle of the street. Keep watch over him, but don't reveal yourself. He's no doubt related to the Boy Scout. The last thing I need is him coming after me for killing one of his own. He's only a mere boy. He's no warrior. He doesn't belong on the battlefield. Stood, sir. As they take the kid to a nearby park to watch over him until he awakens. What should we do if he regains consciousness? Let him be. We have more pressing issues to deal with. I want a patrol to begin immediately. In a rotation, in rotation. I want someone on patrol 24/7. If you have to rotate your patrols, so be it. Just get it done. Understood, sir. Now get to work. Izuku walked away and continued to walk around his territory. Izuku spent a couple of hours just roaming around through his territory. His downtime has finally passed, so he had to head back. He has to head back to work. So he made his way to his manor to sign more paperwork. A few hours has passed, as you can see Internal, aka Izuku, reading and signing one paper after another. Emperor is sitting in the office, watching her master work. She seemed to have a very satisfied expression on her face, finally getting her master to do some actual work. A good amount of them. It's not the fact that he doesn't work, it's that she wants... It doesn't happen very often where he gets a good chunk of the work done. You can't help yourself from getting yourself in trouble, can you, sir? What do you mean? The kid you fought today. Your fight was broadcast live by the local news station. You know that kid is one of the newest members of the Young Justice. That's not surprising. He looks around the age that they do recruit. Come to think of it, I really don't know any of the members of the Young Justice. I am unaware of the roster besides the boys, sir. They haven't officially gone on their first mission. Young Justice is still a fairly new hero group that was established after they disband the Teen Titans. What information I did gather that was revealed to me that the woman you already faced, Black Canary, has been keeping them on standby, most likely deeming they're not ready for an actual mission, or there hasn't been any missions for them to take. around their skill level. Both options are very possible. I'm going to have to face the Young Justice sooner or later. I was just hoping we wouldn't deal with them until we no longer need Gotham. Speaking of that, sir, what exactly is your plan? Spread my influence on both fronts, as internal, as a villain, and as Jin, Voidheart. That's all, really. I estimate by taking this course of action, there will be many people, heroes and villains alike, that will try to stop me. Being a villain is just a means to entertain myself. I wish you would find a less dangerous means of entertainment, sir. Amber just simply sighed to herself. So, what's the next course of action, sir? We're going to give the Falcones a couple of days. If they haven't contacted us by then, I'll start targeting Two-Face's operation by attacking his territory without their assistance. Izuku didn't have to wait long, not even a day later. Alice Falcone contacted him and invited him over to her manor to discuss how they're going to move forward, discussing it over dinner. Several hours later, you can see Internal in his black suit get out of his car as the huge gate to the manor open up. As several of the Falcone goons, security, guide him towards the manor. When they finally got to their destination, they requested for a security check to check if he had any weapons. They were being very polite about it, so Internal didn't really care. He doesn't carry such weapons anyways. He doesn't need to. He is the weapon. After the brief search for weapons, they led him to the living area, where he sat down on the couch, waiting for his host to arrive. It didn't take long for Alice to greet her guest. I'm glad you can make it, Internal. Welcome to my home. Please, follow me. I hope you are unharmed. I caught a glimpse of your fight on the television when they were broadcasting it live. Your opponent might just be a boy, but that boy is a Kryptonian, and fighting one of those aliens is never an easy feat. I do appreciate your concern. I'm completely fine. The boy's strength was impressive, but that's all he has going for him. Just his powers. He's a greenhorn, no battle experience. His defeat was going to happen regardless. The fight was already decided when he challenged me. It's still quite impressive, though. What was that attack you did near the end of the fight? Magic, a highly condensed magic beam. Magic drill? I thought that stuff was all smoke and mirrors. I'm not talking about the stuff that you see at a magic show. Those are parlor tricks. I mean real magic. For your question, magic is real, Miss Falcone. Please, just call me Alice. Do you mind to show me some of this magic you speak of? I've never actually seen it outside of your typical magic show that would perform in Gotham. Well, I can't blame you for being curious. I was much like that when I first learned of magic's existence. Sure, why not? I don't see any harm in it. I suggest we do this somewhere less confined, preferably somewhere outside. The perfect spot. Follow me. As she led Internal outside to her very own that's on the compound of the manor. It's a big park. It has a good enough area for something like this. Once they got to the park, Internal got into a wide area of the park, so nothing will get destroyed or set on fire. As you can see, purple and green dragons made out of fire start flying around and fighting each other. That's going to help but relive some of her days when she was just a girl, when her father took her to her very first magic show. She had to get rid of such things when her mother died. But it's nice for her once in a while to relive some of her good childhood memories. After the small display with those small fire dragons, they arrived in the dining room tables, sitting across from each other, as food is being let down in front of them. Once the food was on the table, the staff quietly left the area, leaving the two alone. They started to eat their dinner while having brief conversations, enjoying each other's company. After dinner, they got up and made their way over to her office. As she sat behind her desk, "Shall we get down to business?" "I believe so." "I believe so. This is a good enough place to start. How much do you know of Two-Face's operation that's currently still active?" "According to my intelligence, he has several operations in his territory that are still operational. He has a nice operation when it comes to the black market, making weapon trades. It's been very profitable for Harvey. For some reason, he doesn't deal with drugs. Explosions, laundering money, yes, but he never deals with drugs or human trafficking. And I believe he has a couple of factories that makes ammunition for all of his firearms. He does have a couple of operations that's a front, posing as a charity. The Two-Faced bastard has even signed an alliance with some sort of unknown faction. I have suspicions that's connected to the creature that attacked Superman in Metropolis not that long ago. But I have no solid proof on that. It's just a gut feeling. And I learned a long time ago to trust my instincts. I have no delusion to believe that you would accept everything I said on my word alone. I'm only bringing it up as a possibility. In war, nothing's what it seems. Expect the unexpected. You talk like you've seen war. You have no idea. You have no idea how right you are, Alice. I have fought in many wars. I might look like I am 19, going on 20. Don't be fooled by my younger appearance. I am quite old. I've lived a very long life. If what you're saying is true, not saying that I believe you, but why are you revealing this to me? Good that you're suspicious. That will keep you alive. Good instincts to have. But if we're going to have an alliance, I want no secrets between us. In truth, I am a demigod, and I won't go into the details of who is my godly parent. Not only I am a demigod, I am an immortal demigod. I've been around for a very long time. Alice, I've seen many things. I've seen the rise of civilizations, and I've witnessed that same civilization destroy themselves from the inside. Seen many kingdoms rise and fall. I cannot be killed or die from slow age. I could only be slowed down. If you say what is true, what is your goal really? You have so much power at your fingertips. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around everything you just revealed to me. With your power, you could easily take over the world. No interest in such things. It's only natural that you're suspicious. After all, we barely know each other. I have no grand scheme or goal. I simply do this for my own entertainment. And what can I say? I like to fight. I believe we got off topic. I believe so. So tell me what you have so far, and I'll give you my input. As Alice and Internal came up with a strategy plan that they made, took them the entire night to come up with, shooting off ideas from each other. The next morning, they finally finish as Internal is going through all of the details of the plan. Most impressive. I believe this would work quite nicely. It's not the most complex plan, but it will do. I would have to agree. This is far more better plan than I had originally before your input. Your input has been very invaluable. All we have to do is target Two-Face's base of operations. The more we hurt Harvey by taking out his operations, the more likelihood he'll seek us out, and I can lure him out. Then you will strike, as we can both attack on both sides. Like I said, it's not the most complex plan, but it serves its purpose. How come you don't look like you're tired at all? I don't sleep. Immortality kinda has that effect on you. That doesn't mean I can't sleep. It's just not necessary for me to do so. That's so unfair. I believe it is, but I believe this is the best time to take my leave. I'll start targeting a few locations of the Two-Face's operations in his territory by tonight. I'll keep you updated on my progress. Expect a phone call from my personal assistant, Amber. She'll keep in touch. Very well. It's been a pleasure, Internal. I quite enjoyed your company. The same. Once Internal left the manor, he immediately portaled away. Izuku spent the rest of his days when he arrived at his manor to prep everything, to make sure everything's ready to attack the places he needs to attack tonight by going after a couple of Two-Face's operations. When night finally came, Internal was already on top of a building, looking at his target that's across the street. It's a old laundromat. That is a front for laundering money. Begin the operation and burn it to the ground. As he gave his marching orders to his men, as they immediately went into action, Izuku watched his members of Cerberus start throwing Molotovs into the laundromat as people begin to run out of the building. It might be a front for laundering money, but it's still technically considered a laundromat. As the innocent civilians begin to flee out of the area, while the laundromat caught fire, as several units go inside to throw some more Molotovs inside, deeper into the building. Izuku's standing on top of the building, watching the burning buildings. Izuku turned around, sensing someone behind him. As he stared upon the members of the Young Justice, he wasn't surprised to see Superboy once again, but this time around he brought his team. Well, a couple of his teammates that he has a friendship towards both members, like a mentorship, like. Will be under their care for a while. You see, like superhero mentors, just to get him adjusted to the team. Well, you are some of the members of the Young Justice. Izuku glanced at each member of the Young Justice, starting with Starfire, and right beside her is a blonde girl with the same emblem as Superboy, revealing it to be Supergirl. Not every member of the Young Justice is here, but they were the only ones that were available to go after Internal. The Teen Titans, ever since the Teen Titans was disbanded, the members of the Titans joined the Young Justice, alongside with other heroes that the Young Justice have been recruiting. The young hero team is not lacking in numbers. Izuku was quite impressed that they sent 3 of their heavy hitters to stop him: Superboy, Supergirl, and Starfire. All 3 members of the Young Justice charge after Superboy took the charge, while Supergirl was right behind Connor as Starfire is flying behind, as her hands begin to glow green, ready to shoot out her star bolts at the slightest moment of aggression. Izuku began to dodge every attempt from Connor trying to attack him. I see you're hoping large numbers will overwhelm me. A solid strategy. But that will be futile. Well, nothing will change. The same result will transpire. You all defeated, and I am victorious. Even if you trained for 200 years, you would stand a chance against me, boy. Talk too much. We're taking you down. Please surrender. I don't wish to harm you. I'm with Star on that one. Just surrender. I don't wish to harm you as well. But if you continue to resist, I am going to have to use more unladylike methods. It amazes me to see you Kryptonians in your arrogance. Izuku flash-stepped and reappeared right in front of Superboy, as Internal kicked Superboy in the stomach, making him go flying backwards into a building, then immediately spin around and uppercut Supergirl, then proceeds to grab her by the leg and toss her into a nearby building, leaving Internal to dodge several incoming firebolts from Starfire. Please, don't make me do this. Response to Starfire's inquiry, he simply shot off a pure magical energy beam at Starfire, knocking her out of the sky as she fell down to the street. As the street cracked a little bit from the height and strength, well, the fall basically. Izuku begins to float downwards as he watches all 3 members of the Young Justice recover and regroup and proceed to go into a formation. Connor and Kara in the front, while Starfire is in the back, giving fire support. and engaging in hand-to-hand combat if necessary, as all three of them charge at Internal, who simply dodge out of the way of their attacks, while jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Izuku took flight to a... Izuku took the fight to a secluded street just outside of Two-Face's territory, while the rest of his Cerberus continued their operation by targeting Two-Face's operations. Internal kicked Supergirl in the stomach and slammed his fist across Superboy's face, making them go flying backwards. Internal was forced to block the incoming rain of star bolts that Starfire shot out. The attack was blocked, but Internal was skidding backwards from the force of the energy shots that Starfire is shooting out. Izuku spun around and dodged the rest of the star bolts, heading towards him, and shot out a purple lightning bolt at Starfire, making her drop from the sky after getting hit, after she screamed out in pain from being electrocuted. Izuku noticed the strange orange alien that was falling from being shot by his lightning bolt. She was pretty high up. He was unsure if the alien would survive the fall from that height. Before the alien could hit the ground, Internal caught her using his telekinesis and gently set her on the floor. Saw the two other members of the young, as he sees Supergirl and Superboy charging to his direction. As he gazed at Starfire, sorry about this girl, as Starfire was tossed at Supergirl as she caught her in her arms. As Superboy engaged in hand-to-hand combat with Internal. I see you got a little better. Got lucky last time. I won't be defeated that easily again. You talk big, kid, but can you back it up? Izuku noticed the two other members of the Young Justice finally recovered, as all three of them surround him on all sides. Well, I'll be damned. It looks like I'm surrounded. I don't know why you kids are so eager to take me down. It's not like I broke any laws today. To my knowledge, of course. Doesn't matter, we're going to take you down, villain. You're the bad guy here. I have no doubt you have broken some law. We just have to dig hard enough to find it. And that's not even including all those people, those men you killed the last time we crossed paths. Still hung up on that? You're still hung up on that, kid? I really don't see what's the big deal. They were just criminals. You act like they're actual people. I told you what I told you last time, kid. They're not. But I killed a couple of them. What the hell's wrong with you? You don't even feel guilty about it. And why should I? They're scum. And what does that make you? They're superior, clearly. Still not right, villain Internal. Please surrender and stop this pointless fighting. I don't like to cause necessary violence. You're wrong, my dear. There's going to be plenty of unnecessary violence. I'm only getting started. Internal got an alert from his phone as he pulled it out of his suit, as all three of the heroes got on edge as they all get ready to attack, only to see Internal take a cell phone as he begins texting to his men as they have accomplished their mission. As he closed the phone and put it back in his suit. Well, kids, it looks like it's past your bedtime, and I'm a busy man. You know the whole, I got places to be, people to kill, so on. I would be looking forward to our next encounter, young Justice, until we cross paths again. Suddenly, there was a bright flash, blinding all three heroes. When the hero's visions returned, Internal was nowhere to be seen. The moment he unleashed his light spell, he teleported away using his light magic as a flashbang spell to cover his escape by teleporting out of the area. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Enjoy my time, so I'll catch you in the next video.